It's everyone's favorite time of the week. It's race review time with Max. That is not an official name. It's just something I came up with the last. And today, we're talking about the thermal race. We'll be talking about tire strategy, Penske, McLaren, DeFrancesco, Palou, and Fox. Before we dive into this video, make sure to like and subscribe down below. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So first off, at the beginning, before the race even started, McLaren started off the race with a 1-2 with Award and Lundgaard. Fantastic qualifying result from Lundgaard. Shows that the St. Petersburg qualifying, top 5 qualifying was not a fluke. That he actually has, the speed is there, the competitiveness is there. He still gave Award like a run for his money a couple of times during qualifying. I want to go a little bit deeper than just the top 2 drivers in the IndyCar side. Nolan Siegel. I want to ask you guys, how long do you give Nolan Siegel in this seat to prove himself? Because he's had flashes of brilliance ever since he's gotten to this seat midway through last year, and I have faith that he'll be good. But like, at one point, do you think, as Tony Kanaan, how much longer do you let Nolan Siegel put up these mediocre results? Like, I understand the vision they have with Nolan Siegel, what they want him to do. So far, it's not there. I know it's only the second race of a 17-race season, but having both of your teammates out-qualify you and outperform you in the first 2 races is not a good look. So go ahead and type down below in the comments what you guys think you would do in Tony Kanaan's situation with Nolan Siegel. I personally think that we give him to like about halfway through the season and give a fair assessment on his whole like year with the season compared to 2024 and the first half of this season. And I feel like if it's the results aren't there, then it's time to look elsewhere. If he shows improvement, then I think it's worth keeping him on that program for the rest of the season. But so far, not so good for Nolan Siegel. Next up is a big headline that we all never saw coming, was Penske. Penske were absolute and utter dog water this weekend. They were good in practice. They had solid speed, as Will Power said in his interview after qualifying. They were good in like these practice sessions, these test sessions, but when it comes to qualifying and race, they're just nowhere to be seen. Qualifying had all 3 Penske cars out in the first round, with Scott McLaughlin being like the slowest, and then Will Power and Joseph Newgarden, I think he was 17th to 19th. Will Power charged back to a fantastic P6 after starting like near the mid-20s. I think he was like the biggest mover. I think he gained like 16 spots in that race, so that was really good showing of Will Power's speed and consistency, and that also shows that he still has the speed in him to still compete at a high level in IndyCar. Like, he's not washed by any imagination. He's still got it. Scott McLaughlin got a DNF in this race. I think his hybrid system overheated, and that's what caused him to retire after this race. And yeah, not a good weekend at all for McLaughlin, and one to forget. From one team to next, let's move on to Prema. Another weekend to forget for Prema as well. Robert Schwartzman had an awful start to the weekend. I believe first practice he got out, and I don't even think he made a single lap, and his car blew up. I think it was like an electrical issue and then like a mechanical issue too, to where like it kind of melted his seat a little bit, or it caught fire. Something in the back caught fire, and then also something up front kind of melted his seat a little bit. So that was a shocking sight to see, like all the AMR safety team just tearing apart Schwartzman's car. So they had to bring out a new chassis and everything, and Schwartzman didn't even get like a single lap in until qualifying the next day, and that was pretty impressive to even see that he was able to go out and actually be somewhat competitive, at least not be dead last in qualifying. So that's good from him. And then Callum Ilott, he had obviously the only one that was able to qualify good, and then had that first lap crash, which resulted in a 26th place finish. Basically finished last on track, thanks to McLaughlin DNFing. So, and speaking of rookies, Louis Foster had an absolute amazing qualifying session for his team. I believe he got into the Firestone Fast 6, or if not, he just barely missed out. But he had a really, really good qualifying speed. Just didn't translate it well over to the race speed. And I believe he had an issue as well as they're rolling out of the pits, starting to do the parade laps. He had like a hybrid issue, but then it was able to get it fired up and then caught up to the pack, and they're off racing. So I wasn't sure if Foster was able to get back to his original qualifying position at the start of the race, but for some reason he just finished way down the order. Not sure what happened in the race. I don't remember seeing anything happen to Foster. I don't know if it was strategy or just pace, but something happened to him, and unfortunately he didn't get the finish that he probably should have deserved, but still really great showing from the rookie. Now let's talk about his teammate, Devlin DeFrancesco. Coming to the green flag for the start of the race, DeFrancesco was trying to catch up to McLaughlin to just try and start side-by-side formation out of the final couple of corners, and in doing so, just drives into the side of McLaughlin, spins both of themselves out. Later in the post-race, I saw a clip of it on social media of DeFrancesco being absolutely irate with McLaughlin, even though DeFrancesco was the reason they both spun out. And it was funny, in the video you can hear DeFrancesco saying, "You're the one who drove into me." Buddy, how is someone on your outside supposed to drive into you when you're the one who's carrying too much speed into the corner and has the worst trajectory out of the two? Like, I genuinely don't know what DeFrancesco is smoking, but I want whatever it is, because bro is on another planet to be thinking that it wasn't his fault. Definitely gonna be a long season with that guy at RLL, that's for sure. Bruh. So I was watching the broadcast on TV downstairs with my family, like everyone else does. I was watching it with my dad. My dad's a Pato Award fan, so he's very interested to see how the race plays out. We were watching right when Power was coming out of pit road when the screen froze. And we're like, what's happening? What's going on? And so I was like, oh, maybe it's like one of the instances where, you know, our TV like froze or something like that, or like our channel froze and we just had to like switch channels and go back, and by the time we got back it was already to commercial. I was like, that's not good. So I went to the NASCAR broadcast, and
we want to welcome those of you who've been watching the IndyCar race on Fox. They are having technical difficulties, so we welcome the Fox audience to our NASCAR telecast from Homestead Miami Speedway.
So I'm like, oh no, this did not just happen. And about a handful of minutes later, I see on Twitter that the track had lost power somehow. Like the timing, the TV feeds, everything was gone for about a solid 10 minutes maybe. A lot of people were like, oh, this is the final straw. There's no reason why IndyCar should be coming back to this track, because if they can't even, have like a proper race event there that is able to not have these issues, there's no reason they should be going back. And that kind of logic, which I understand. I think that Thermal should not host a points paying race, in my opinion. When you're at a racing event and you hear the roar of the crowd, that makes you like feel like this actually means something. Like it actually, like, it gives it more life. What we saw this weekend at Thermal was like not that. They weren't able to use any crowd cheering microphones or anything, or any audio, because there was like really no grandstands to really get the audio from. So I think that, yeah, Thermal should just stay as a test track. It shouldn't have a points paying race, and until we get Arlington next year, I don't think it should be on the calendar going forward in 2026. This is the first time since 2020, I believe, that a driver has gone back-to-back in the first two races of the season. Very impressive start for Alex Palou. We all know that he is the one to beat this season. He is the guy that everyone's chasing after, and it looked like for a while that Palou was just going to get a third-place finish at best, a second place. It just looked like Palou just didn't have the speed to really catch Lundgaard or pass him. And then for some reason, once Palou put on those red tires and Lundgaard was on those alternate or those primary black tires, it was just no contest. Like once Palou got to him and had I'll admit, a fantastic battle with Lungard with the 4 back-to-back switchbacks on each other. It was fantastic seeing that happen, but then after that, after Palou got a first full lap in clean air by himself, and he had chopped the lead by 2 seconds that lap, you knew it was oh, it's over. There's no way Pato's gonna be able to hold on to the lead after this, because if Palou is able to gain 2 seconds a lap over Pato by himself, there's literally no chance Pato had with about 15 to go. So I was praying that Pato was able to hold off Palou some way, somehow, but yeah, it was just something you can't prevent from happening. Palou is inevitable, as they say. So yeah, just fantastic drive from Palou, fantastic strategy from the CGR team. And once again, Palou is the guy to beat, and it's the guy that everyone's chasing after for the championship once more. And it's proving to be extremely difficult this season, because a guy who has this much momentum on his side this early in the season is going to be incredibly tough to beat for the rest of the season, it seems like. Yeah, it's going to be hard to beat a guy who's gone back-to-back in the first 2 races of the season and try and beat him in points that way. But now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Twitter responses. After I put my tweet out about 3 hours ago, make it 4 hours ago almost, we got a couple responses this time. So first one is from Nathan at Millard _73. I hope I said that right. Racing was meh. Broadcast dropped the ball big time. Having practically no fans made it feel barren. It felt too much like COVID. I agree that the racing was pretty bland. There was definitely opportunities for the broadcast to focus on some of the midfield battles. It seemed like I was on my IndyCar app and I was able to see a lot of the midfield cars really close to each other, and I feel like they could have focused on that a little bit more, other than hyper fixating on the leaders as much. Yeah, broadcast was particularly better this time around, a little bit more well thought out. I like that they got rid of the stupid cartoon character superhero things and actually just replaced it with the real life pictures of the drivers, which is something that we should talk about, because IndyCar or Fox on IndyCar is actually, I said that the wrong way around. IndyCar and Fox is actually giving their fans what they want, and something that NASCAR on Fox has never managed to do for the past 6 years. So that enraged a lot of NASCAR fans, which is crazy to think about, that IndyCar is getting a lot more attention and care than NASCAR. Next one up is from NiftyCar at NiftyCar52. The racing was good. The event is openly hostile towards fans that don't own shell companies to dodge their taxes. Come back with 4 times the stands and a functional broadcast, or don't come back at all. This is unacceptable for a major league series. Track layout is good. Alright, so a little bit more to unpack here. It does seem like it kind of shuts out the typical race fan from going to see this race, and that's something that's probably going to hurt IndyCar in the long run if they keep going here, because every other track that they go to is either a purpose-built racetrack or a temporary road or a street course that the fans are actually able to access and go to. This track was not it. Track layout was good. I think that they could have done a little bit better with the track layout. I think that it's just a little bit too technical. Doesn't provide enough passing zones. It seems like the only passing zones they had were after the long straights, a couple long straights that they had at the track, and that was pretty much it. We saw, I think Will Power passed, I forget who it was, but he passed maybe Kirkwood or something like that at the right-hander before the long carousel. So I mean, there's definitely spots to pass at, but I think that in terms of a racing product, it pales in comparison to a track like, Mid-Ohio or, Road America or something like that. Yeah, that wraps it up for the Twitter responses for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe down below and comment what your favorite part of the race was, or what you want IndyCar to do with this track. Do you want it to be an all-star race, a test track, or actual points-paying race? I would love to hear what you guys have to say down below. That'll end this video, and until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.